Will you marry me?
Yes.
I married him at 65, believing love had finally knocked on my door again. But on our honeymoon night, he locked the door, leaned close, and whispered, "You were just a bet." That night, my world shattered. Yet he didn't know. He had just awakened a woman far stronger than he ever imagined.
Today, I'm going to share with you a story that will leave you shocked and inspired. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with someone who loves a good story. And I'd love to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. I always enjoy seeing how far these stories travel. All right, let's begin.
I was 65, a widow for nearly a decade. My children lived far away, and loneliness had become my daily companion. That's when I met Ryan. He was 25, handsome,
Charming.
the kind of man who could make even a young woman's heart skip. I laughed at myself at first, thinking, this boy could be my grandson. But Ryan was persistent. He told me age didn't matter, that he admired my strength, my wisdom, my grace. He made me feel alive again. Against all odds, I let myself believe. When he proposed, tears rolled down my cheeks. Maybe I wasn't too old for love. My friends warned me. Some said he was after my money. I silenced them. After all, wasn't love about trust? On our wedding day, I stood in front of the mirror in my ivory gown, smiling like a girl of 20. I thought my second chance at happiness had finally arrived. But I was wrong. So very wrong. The hotel was beautiful, a seaside resort with candlelit balconies. My heart fluttered as Ryan carried me into the suite. For a moment, I felt like the luckiest woman alive. But then something shifted. His eyes turned cold. He locked the door, his hand gripping the key too tightly. Then he leaned in, his lips almost brushing my ear, and whispered words that froze me. "You were just a bet." My smile vanished. What do you mean?" He chuckled, cruel and sharp. "You think I love you? You were nothing but a challenge. My friends, but I couldn't get a rich old widow to marry me. And I won." The room spun. My knees trembled. I could barely breathe. Ryan smirked, pulling off his tie. "Don't look so shocked. Did you really think someone like me would fall for someone like you?"
No, darling.
"You're just my ticket to wealth." My chest ached as tears blurred my vision. The man I thought was my second chance at love had played me like a fool. Over the next days, Ryan played his role perfectly in public, holding my hand, kissing my forehead, making others believe in our fairy tale. But behind closed doors, his mask dropped. He demanded access to my accounts. He insisted we merge assets. He even mocked my wrinkles, my age, my body. Each word cut deeper, but I stayed silent. I let him believe I was weak, that I was helpless. At night, I cried into my pillow, but by morning, I wore my practiced smile. Because I knew something he didn't. I hadn't told him about the documents I'd signed before the wedding. The quiet meeting with my lawyer. The secret transfer of my assets. Ryan thought he was pulling my strings, but he was dancing in a web I had already spun. One night, he pushed too far. He slammed papers in front of me. "Sign it now, or I'll make sure you regret it." His eyes were dark, his tone venomous. My hands shook, but inside, a fire sparked. This was it. The moment I had been waiting for. I signed the papers with a trembling smile. Not because he won, but because his victory was already hollow. Ryan laughed, stuffing the documents into his bag. "Finally. Soon, I'll have everything. And you'll have nothing." But if only he knew, he was the one with nothing. Weeks later, Ryan planned his exit. He thought he would leave me broken, penniless, and discarded. But before he could, I invited him to dinner. A private, elegant affair at my lawyer's office. He strutted in, smug and confident, certain this was another chance to humiliate me. "Why so formal, darling?" he sneered. I slid a folder across the table. "Because tonight, the masks drop." He opened it. His smirk faltered. The papers showed the truth. Every property, Every account, every asset transferred to a charity foundation I had created in my late husband's honor. His face drained of color. What is this? I leaned forward, my voice steady. This is me taking back my power. You thought I was your victim, but I was always 3 steps ahead. Ryan erupted. He shouted, cursed, and even tried to grab the papers. But my lawyer calmly slid another document forward. Mr. Ryan, you might want to read this one. It was a prenuptial agreement. Ironclad, leaving him with absolutely nothing. He stammered, "Why, you can't do this." I stood, my heart finally free of fear. I already did. The bet is over, Ryan. And you lost. Security escorted him out, his rage echoing down the hall. For the first time in weeks, I felt the weight lift off my chest. I had walked into the trap of a cruel young man, but I had walked out stronger. The next morning, I sat on the balcony of my home, sipping tea as the sunrise painted the sky. The silence was no longer heavy with loneliness, it was peaceful. Ryan's name soon vanished from my life. The charity flourished, helping widows and elderly women who, like me, had once felt abandoned. And as I watched the world awaken, I smiled. Because in the end, love had not betrayed me. A man had. And men can be replaced. But dignity, strength, wisdom, those remain. And I had them all. He thought he won by turning my love into a cruel bet. But in the end, I walked away not as his victim, but as his reckoning. And that is the true power of a woman who refuses to be broken.